Thanks for joining us here on The Wax at 7:30. I'm Caitlin Nuclo.
And I'm Nicole Nalepa. I don't know where to look, but you know what? I'm going to send things right over here. Scot Haney in the First Alert Forecast Center.
I love the orchestra at the top of the show.
Yeah, something like that.
It was really cool.
Yeah.
All right, First Alert weather day, ladies and gentlemen. This afternoon and this evening, heavy rain, thunderstorms, lightning, gusty winds. Some of those winds could be damaging a little bit later on this afternoon. So here's the impact. Again, that heavy rain, frequent lightning, gusty, damaging winds are on the table, and even some small hail can be in some of these storms. We're at level 2. Never good. Never good when we're at level 2. This is according to the Storm Prediction Center out of Norman, Oklahoma. Again, when we're at level 2, typically we see severe weather in the state. We're going to certainly keep you posted. In the meantime, here's First Alert Futurecast. A couple of cells of activity around 1 o'clock in parts of northeast Connecticut, but the main action starts rolling in just after 2, 3 o'clock this afternoon. This is 6 p.m., not particularly good. Unfortunately, it is going to be a little bit of a raucous evening with lightning, thunder, the whole 9 yards. By 8 o'clock, it's pushing towards the northeast and southeast. By midnight, it is done, and we get to enjoy a beautiful weekend. Today, a hot day. A little bit cooler along the shoreline, but about 90, 91 in inland Connecticut. If we do get to 90 today at Bradley, it'll be the second day of the year, but wait until you see next week. Holy Hannah. The heat is on. I'll be back with that full forecast coming up in just a bit. In the meantime, Roger, take it away.
All right, good morning, Scott. Holy Hannah. Now, that is not how you would describe the roads right now. I mean, check it out. Smooth sailing as we scan around the state in Hartford, Waterbury, Middletown, and Meriden. Get this, absolutely no delays out there, no alerts from the DOT, which is some fantastic news. Sure, is there a little construction? Absolutely, but if you take a look at your drive times, bottom line, about as good as it gets. That is your First Alert traffic report, driven by your Connecticut Chevy dealers. Ladies, I'll send it back to you.
All right, Roger, thank you. Right now, a 17-year-old girl is seriously hurt but in stable condition after someone shot her on Woodland Drive in Hartford last night. Pinpoint News Tracker shows you exactly where this happened. We're told someone saw it happen and called police, but they haven't found the suspect yet. Crews brought the victim to the hospital. She is expected to survive. If you know anything, call police.
And residents are back in their homes this morning after yesterday morning's explosion at that Bridgeport apartment building.
A man is in custody, and police are also working with the FBI to determine the type of device and where it came from. Channel 3 Eyewitness News reporter Marcy Jones was at the scene yesterday and is live in the studio this morning with the update. So what's going on with the investigation?
That's right. Good morning, you guys. A lot has happened since then. The good news here is that nobody was injured in the explosion yesterday morning. However, the ordeal and following investigation caused a significant disruption in the lives of those in the neighborhood. Some sharing with me that they missed work and classes because they couldn't get to their cars. Now police are piecing together why this all happened. Bridgeport police have arrested and charged Nelson Diaz for disorderly conduct. But this isn't Diaz's first run-in with the law. Police say that he's a convicted felon and a person of interest in the explosion at 1512 North Avenue Thursday morning. In addition, Diaz is also someone the FBI says they've had on their radar. Law enforcement officers say that they have evidence that Diaz was causing a disturbance inside of the apartment building and have surveillance footage of him briskly leaving seconds after the explosion. As the investigation continues, big questions remain, like why did this happen and what exactly exploded?
It was like so much smoke that I was like, is it a fire or something?
Maybe somebody got mad at somebody and did that, you know, to try to scare them.
Residents who were temporarily evacuated are now back in their homes, and police add they believe this was an isolated incident with no threat to the public. Bond for Diaz has been set at $25,000. In the studio, Marcy Jones, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
All right, thanks, Marcy. Now at 7:34, police in New Haven are still looking for the person who robbed and shot a man. And police tell us a 32-year-old man was shot during a robbery on Chamberlain Place Tuesday night. The victim is expected to survive his injuries, but police are still asking any eyewitnesses to come forward with any useful information. So if you know anything or you think you have someone else that knows something, send them to the New Haven police.
We're learning some new details about the driver accused of hitting and killing a construction worker in Hartford. Turns out 25-year-old Tommy Nugent has a history of reckless driving. Police say he sped through a work zone Tuesday, hit and killed 54-year-old Jose Diaz Neves of East Hartford. And then in court yesterday, we found out that he's been arrested in the past after a police chase in 2022 and then again last year for evading a car crash. His lawyer told the judge that he was having a seizure at the time he crashed.
They're not saying that abortion pills are safe. They just said the case didn't have standing. So we'll be back with another case with better standing next time.
Morning. Anti-abortion advocates say that the fight isn't over after the Supreme Court ruled to preserve access to the abortion pill mifepristone. The 9 justices ruled that the plaintiffs, a group of anti-abortion doctors, lacked the legal standing to sue over the FDA's approval of the pill. Now, yesterday's ruling allows mail-order pharmacies to continue shipping the mifepristone nationwide.
The Supreme Court is headed into its final few weeks, but nearly half of the cases heard by justices are still not decided. One of the biggest involves presidential immunity. Former President Donald Trump is asking the court to dismiss the federal election interference case against him. Trump argues he is immune from prosecution for official acts that he took while in office. There's also another abortion case on the docket this year. The Supreme Court has yet to decide on whether doctors can provide abortions when the mother's life is at risk in states that have banned the procedure. And then the court also needs to decide on whether the ban on bump stocks is constitutional. Bump stocks are a gun accessory that allow a semi-automatic rifle to fire hundreds of rounds per minute. The accessory was banned by the Trump administration after the 2017 Las Vegas massacre. Well, Florida is preparing for its next round of rainfall after storms moved through the southern part of the state. Forecasters say more flash flooding could be on the way as conditions are expected to get worse today. The National Weather Service says even small amounts of rain today could impact areas that were already saturated earlier this week.
All right. Hi, everybody. 7:37 now is the time. Let's spend a little time on the icons because they do flip over to thunderstorms. You'll notice this at 3 p.m., 6 p.m. It is a first alert weather day here at Channel 3, and that means business, okay? Let's take a look at the shoreline. We are talking about showers and thunderstorms there as well. A little bit later, right around 4, 5, 6 p.m. this evening. Unfortunately, it's going to get a little rough around here in terms of lightning and thunder. So keep your eyes to the skies. If they look threatening, head indoors. Once again, it is a first alert weather day. This afternoon and this evening for heavy rain, thunderstorms, lightning, gusty wind. That's going to have an impact on those outdoor plans. If you have tents set up for graduation and wedding ceremonies, please make sure that they are hunkered down because there could be some strong, gusty, damaging winds. All right? Yes, these are the impacts for the next storm system that rolls in this afternoon and evening. Heavy rain, frequent lightning, gusty wind, and small hail. We're at level 2 in terms of receiving some of these strong storms. So, again, keep your eyes to the skies. Download the Channel 3 app. It's a great resource. And get ready for some heat as well. The temperatures today top out in the low to mid 80s for the shoreline and a little bit further inland, and then low 90s for Brainerd and for Bradley. That's a pretty hot day. But the humidity levels are going to start to really rise next week, Roger. I'll be back with more of that coming up in just a bit.
All right, look forward to it. I think folks might be sleeping in just a little bit today because there's not much traffic to speak of, which is some good news. No major delays, no major incidents across the highways right now. As you take a look at your drive times, again, folks, that's about as good as you're going to do on a Friday morning. There's a little bit of construction out there that could slow you down just a touch, but it's nothing that's going to ruin your day for sure. And as we take a little tour around the state, you can see conditions in Hartford, Waterbury, Middletown, and in Meriden. Everything rolling along nicely. That is your first alert traffic report, driven by your Connecticut Chevy dealers. Nicole?
All right.